you know, on parts like this right here, right? So
Get rockstar life, I partied all summer.
what is up, everybody? It is your boy Farai. Thank you once again for tuning into another video, man. Shout out Notification Squad. I hope you've had a great holiday. In today's video, I've got a really cool comment right here which asks, thanks for the tips. How do we separate our background vocals from our main vocal though? Mine tend to sound muddy and don't really stand out. So that is a good comment right there. And you know, it's something that I actually learned from listening to a lot of hip-hop records, how to really separate that main vocal from the background vocals, right? You don't want things to clash, you don't want everything to sound like one thing, so you can't really use one type of processing to deal with your background vocals and your main vocals. So that's what I'll be showing you in today's video. Stick around for that, man. It is a really simple technique using EQ. We'll look into it. I want you to listen to this track real quick. This is the Ian Dior Pop Wave template. I will link the full video in the description, which you can check out. I'll play the track real quick, and then I want you just to listen to the division or separation between, as I said, the main vocal and then the backgrounds. Let's get into it. But first, a word from today's sponsor, DistroKid. DistroKid is the #1 distribution service in the game, helping musicians simplify the process of getting your music onto all the biggest streaming services out there. If you're a production nerd like me and need help organizing your projects, DistroKid now makes it easier for musicians and producers to add credits to all your music. I've personally been a long-term Tidal user, and being able to scroll through the credits of newly released projects is a pretty awesome way to get an in-depth look into the production world of my favorite artists. I've been able to track down some of the engineers who mix some of my favorite projects, thus allowing me to learn more about their production techniques. Also, being able to see which studios albums were recorded at is always fun. DistroKid can now ingest all the credits and info you'd like to provide and then automatically send it out to all the streaming services you're on. You'll now be able to list all the songwriters, beat makers, engineers, and even shout out some of the gear you've used on your songs. You'll be surprised how many people actually look into the credits. CDs and vinyl were once the place to view all of this info, but as digital came around, this tradition has kind of died down. Cool to see it coming back, and hope to see your names being added in future. DistroKid costs only $19.99 per year, and if you use my link below to sign up, you'll receive an additional 7% off your first year. Shout out to DistroKid. Now back to the video.
Need you right now, I need you right now. Yeah, stole my heart, yeah, you ripped it out. I don't know if I want you now. I'm in space like a Martian. Said be careful, take caution. Yeah. Back in high school all alone, send a text straight to my phone. You're the one in my dreams, yeah. Got my money long limousine, yeah. Get rockstar life, I partied all summer, yeah. Can't forget about you, oh yeah. Can't forget about you, oh no. Stuck up in my head, I'm going loco. Yeah, we could just kick it like a dojo. Yeah, I don't want the Gucci, I want Polo. Yeah, steady on my grind, on my dolo. Still ain't sweet like a froyo. Take my heart, you can have it. Still rolling blunts in traffic. Still so cold, it's tragic. But every time we talk, it's magic.
Alright, so there you go. Pretty fun, nice and full sounding mix, although everything still tends to sound separated. And that's really what we want when we are mixing our vocals. We want our beat to exist within a certain pocket, right? We want our drums to sound good, splashy, airy, bass heavy, right? We also want our melody within the beat to be there, present, right? The guitar sample or whatever it may be, the melodies. But we also want our main vocal to stick right there in the middle of the mix. What I'll do real quick is I will just solo out the background stuff, just so you can get an idea of what we have going on. So we got this double right here.
Yeah, you ripped it out.
And obviously just from listening to it, it is just a nice kind of, I would say, low mid sounding, you know, background vocal. It just sits nicely under the main vocal. After that, we've got this ad lib.
School all alone.
And if you really listen to that one, it's kind of got this hyped top end, right? So as you can see right now, we're dividing up different areas of the mix, you know, via our background vocals, if that makes sense, right? We've got our low MIDI sound, which is more warm. Then we've got our kind of nice hyped emphasized ad lib, and then over here we have our background vocals, right? Or our background left and right.
Rockstar life, I partied all summer. Can't forget about you, yeah.
Really nice, really hi-fi sounding. Now you're probably thinking I'm using a crazy amount of EQ or some sort of special EQ, but really all I'm doing, for example, over here,
rockstar life, I partied all summer. Can't forget about you.
Really just two steps all I've really done is just emphasize the highs, right? Get rid of the lows and emphasize the highs. That's something that obviously your main vocal is not going to be that bright, right?
Get rockstar life, I partied all summer.
So if we can EQ everything correctly, it's kind of like a puzzle. Everything just fits well together. So that's really the technique that I want you to start utilizing. If you have mixed your vocal nice and warm, nice and upfront, why not try emphasize a different part of you know, your other vocals, right? So for example, the top end. If you want a more darker sound to kind of fit and fill up kind of some of the weight of the vocal, then mix a bit darker, right?
Alright, yeah, you ripped it out.
Can you ripped it out? It kind of has that dark reverb sound, and that's really easy to do. All I've really done, as I said before, is let's just solo that out.
Yeah, you ripped it out.
As I said, I don't want top end under my double, right? Because I don't want it to clash with the main vocal. Let's get rid of that, right? So all I did was get rid of the top end. I don't want too much bass in my vocal. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of some of the muddiness, and then we end up with this really nice vocal sound, and then we can even add a bit of reverb after that, right? If I wasn't processing this,
Yeah, you ripped it out.
not fun at all, right?
Alright, yeah, you ripped it out.
That is going to sound really annoying behind the main vocal, right? So that's why just simply adding a few plugins, 2 plugins,
Alright, yeah, you ripped it out.
it's just doing the most, right? It's doing all the work for us, right? It's basic separation, really. You know what I mean? It's going to clean up the muddiness and it's going to separate your vocals. Now, obviously, we have this double as well, or this ad-lib sync.
Back in high school all alone, send a text straight to my phone. You're the one in my dreams, yeah. Got my money
You know
long.
what I mean? In my dreams, it kind of pops out somewhere else in the mix, right? And that's really fun. And all I really did right there with that one is, as I said before, I cut away some of that low end, all of that low end pretty much, and then I really emphasized that top end and then that mid kind of top end to really get this nice upfront sound. Obviously adding a bit of modulation, adding a bit of compression so that things don't really pop out of the mix, but things just sound kind of nice and leveled. You know, doing those kinds of simple tricks are really going to help you get a more open sounding mix, especially, you know, on parts like this right here, right? So
Get rockstar life, I partied all summer, yeah. Can't forget about you, oh yeah. Can't forget about you, oh no. Stuck up in my head, I'm going loco.
can you just hear how everything has its pocket and space? Beautiful stuff, man. So hopefully you learned something in this video, man. Definitely make sure to smash like and subscribe. You do not need any paid VSTs to achieve this. EQ, bit of panning, bit of leveling, and your vocals are going to start sounding separated. Your mixes are going to start sounding full and more professional. So hopefully you learned something in this video, man. This is probably the last video I'm doing for 2020. I hope 2021 is going to be great, man. Keep mixing every day. You know, I've been mixing every day since like 2015 or 2014, and I'm having a lot of fun still. All right, so you know what I mean. Keep doing it every day. If you feel that progress is not being made, take a break, start again. You know what I mean, and keep it moving. But with that being said, man, you know, definitely check out the link in the description for this FLP. Stay well, and you know, rest up for the next year. And I'll check you out next time. Peace out.